Welcome back to Split the Party. As always, I'm your host, Steve Osmond, and today we're going to be talking about a game that I just picked up, Nevermore. It's created by Kurt Covert and published by Smirk and Dagger games. You might have heard of a couple of the other games that they've made, Hex, or my personal favorite, Cutthroat Caverns. And like their other games, this is a game about kind of sticking it to your friends. We just recently, I literally picked it up a couple of hours ago and sat down and played it with some of the guys here from Split the Party. We had a blast playing it. We actually loved it enough after the first play to immediately give it a second try. And I wanted to tell you guys what we thought. So the game is played in two separate phases. There's the draft phase, and in the draft phase, you each are dealt a hand of 5 cards. From those 5 cards, you pass 3 in the appropriate direction. You'll pick up the 3 that you've got, then you pass 2, pick those up, and then you'll pass 1. So you end up with a hand drastically changed from the hand that you started with. Then you go into the resolution phase. Now the resolution phase, when you're drafting these cards, you're trying to come up with a certain number, preferably a majority number, of different icons, either the attack, healing, radiance, victory, or ravens. Attacking and healing do exactly what you would think. Attacking allows you to apply damage to another player. Healing allows you to heal damage to yourself. The way the number of effect is determined is whoever has the highest amount subtracts the number of whoever has the second highest amount, and that's their number of effect that they get to either apply damage or heal. During the Radiance resolution, you take whatever your number of effect is and you draw that number of light magic cards, which are cards that allow you to kind of alter the rules of the game. They can be played during the resolution phase sometimes, during the draft phase sometimes, or before them, and they each will tell you when they trigger. Your number of effect for victory is just the number of victory points that you would then gain. And ravens are a little bit different. They change up the game. So in small numbers, ravens are bad. As you get more and more of them, they become very beneficial. 1 or 2 ravens will have to kill cards in your hand. So if you have a single raven, it's going to have to take out another card that you will not be able to gain the effect from. Same thing with 2. If you have 3 or 4 ravens, obviously in a 5-card hand, you're going to end up with ravens left over at the end, which is for this Skulking Ravens phase. During the Skulking Ravens phase, whoever has the most gets their number of effect as shadow magic cards. Now these operate much like the light magic cards, but are significantly more potent, and so you want to try and get those. Finally, if you have 5 ravens, at the very beginning of the resolution phase, you have what's called a conspiracy of ravens. You play your 5 ravens out. No one else gets to play cards this turn. You get a shadow magic card, you get a victory point, and we move right on to the next turn. Everybody's cards go in the discard pile. So that obviously is a very powerful hand. You just are gaining victory points, gaining a nice potent card, and telling everybody else, sorry about your luck, you don't get to do anything. As you're going through and you're playing the different light magic and shadow magic cards, you're going to be losing hit points. When you lose hit points, all of them, you become a raven. Becoming a raven doesn't end your game, it just alters it. You can't win as a raven per se, but you're still affecting people. You can still hurt people. If you are the majority leader in any one of the phases, you get to hit the second place person for a point of damage. If you take them out, you gain a victory point. If you take out the last human players, as long as there are at least 2 of them, you win. You immediately are altered into being a human again and win the game. You can also become human again by having either 5 of one type of card or 1 of each of the 5 types of cards, and that puts you right back into the game. There are a lot of different things with the different magic cards and with the different rules that can alter the way the game is played. There are a few different ways to win. We actually, earlier today when we were playing, had all 3 methods of winning the game available on a certain round. It is possible for any one of these 3 to happen right now, and instead, myself and Spencer, one of the other hosts, we actually both were ravens and turned ourselves back into human that turn, and that was actually the effect for that turn. Extending the game, changing the strategy that everybody was going for, and really kind of shaking things up. It's a nice game. It's light. It's not overly difficult to learn. In fact, it's only probably an 8-page instruction manual, and the last page is just the quick synopsis of all the rules. So it's very easy to pick up. We sat down, I read through the rules in probably 10 to 15 minutes, and then we immediately started playing. Loved it enough that we sat down and played another round again. The first one probably took a half hour. We burned through it really quickly. Second one I would say was probably more like 45 minutes to an hour, and that's really about where the sweet spot is. So, about a 45-minute game. which makes it fit nicely into most people's collections. It's only $30. It's really very reasonable. The production quality is really high. You can see the art on the cover. It's beautiful. The cards are really well made. We were all commenting on that, how sturdy and durable the cards are. So this is a game I would suggest anybody pick up, especially though people who like playing competitive games, and particularly those competitive games where you are actively sticking it to your friends. Smirk and Dagger is really well known for those, but there are a number of games like that. And if that's the kind of game that you're into, Nevermore is a really good addition to your collection. You will not be sorry for picking it up. But I think that's about all the time that I have for us today. Thanks for watching Split the Party. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Dual Bus Design, Excelsior Games and Comics, and SoundG Entertainment. And as always, I'll see you in the Nerdverse.